It's time for the Investing Live report. This week we had some buying because it was the Thursday before the last week. So here's the look at the pre-buying. It happened Thursday morning because the stock market opens in the evening time here in China. And it looked like only 3 stocks were available. And when it came time to buy, those 3 were still available. So I bought those 3 stocks. It was ADM, Chevron, and PPG. I put the rest of ADM, the rest of PPG in, and then Chevron I just put $10 because it was only down a little bit. So that's it. You can see what I based it on, how much I put in. And then the SPYD, there were 3 possible ones if the stock market went down a lot. But SPYD didn't go down. None of those stocks went down enough, so no buying for SPYD. As you can see here, the last 2 months I haven't bought anything from SPYD. All those stocks have been doing pretty well. And so let's look at the week. We had a mostly good week, just energy was down 0.08, and then real estate was the top sector, 3.57. All the major indexes were up. And then my own portfolio, all of those were up and all of them beat the market except for the global dividends. And then Noble Index beat the Noble rankings and SPYD did the same. And here was the look at how it's going. So there's 1 week left in August. And this week we had, for Noble, we had 7 green, 2 red, 1 purple. It's a positive purple. For the month, things are, even for the red stocks, those stocks are going up. And then SPYD, second week in a row where everything's green, 9 out of 9. Everything's looking good for the month. And now let's look at the live check. So Roth, we have Noble, SPYD, and single stocks from those indexes. Tira is SPLG, which is the S&P 500, and the 11 sector ETFs. And then GDivs are global high yield dividends. Forex holding is just right now only holding euro. And then US divs, that's basically the main portfolio. It includes a huge mix of pretty much everything now. So we get to M1 Finance. We have the Roth portfolio first. So gained some dividends. We're up to 32.58 for the dividends for the year. And the return is 12.6% overall. Mostly market gain, a bit of dividends too, and we reached up to 1,200. And then the year-to-date pies, we can see SPYD 16%, Noble 9.8%, and then the Noble single stocks are beating the SPYD single stocks 15-9, and the top 8 returns all over 20%. Top one is SPG, and then let's look at the bottom 8. So half of them are actually green, and we really just have 2 ones that are struggling. Chevron and Franklin Resources still down over 10%. So take a look at Tira, no dividends, so they only do it at the end of each quarter. So no change there. And then it's up almost 17% again. Most of that is market gain, $317. And then if we look at the pies, S&P 500 almost up 19%. Or actually it is up 19%. Little bit over 19%. The sector ETFs are a little bit above 14%. Our top 8, actually it should be top 6, not top 8, but everything is over 20%, and we've got 3 sectors being the S&P 500: communication services, tech, and financials. And then at the bottom, our worst ETF is only up 10%. So let's get to interactive brokers. And we saw the global divs going way up, 5% move, still down for the year. And I think 18 cents in dividends. Overall down $24. And then our all 12 returns, we've got the same 3 green, the same 9 red. APAM has gone up about 4%. And they recently gave an offer to pay the dividend or give shares since they're down 11%. I elected to have a share given instead of getting the dividend. And Forex is now green, just had, since maybe a week or 2 ago, euro and all of the foreign currencies have been on a surge against the US dollar. So that's good for my portfolio. And then here's the main show. over $10,000 again. New high for the year, 13%. The sale of cash went down a bit because of the buying. I think I spent $27 and we've got $6.55 coming in from the dividends. We can see we're closing on 1,300 unrealized, and Friday we had a gain for the day of $97. Now the net liquidity a little bit over $10,000. And here are the top 8 S&P 500 and sector ETFs. And then our bottom 8, we've got one company from the buying list, PPG, down 6.5%. And the rest of these are from the 10% dividends portfolio. And then for the miscellaneous things, we have analyst forecast and S&P 500 holdings. So we'll look at some things there. So we didn't have that many forecast changes, 2 for the same stock, Realty Income. So first was hold and then hold. So 2 analysts picked hold this week, and then GEC had a hold as well. And then this shows the weight. So it's just showing the top 10 holdings, and 2 of them are Google. Apple and Microsoft together make up a little over 13%, and that actually worries some people. And there's this thing called the Magnificent Seven. So I've actually highlighted them with the green boxes. You can see that's basically all in the top 10 except for Berkshire and United Health. And people worry because these 7 stocks are making up over 20% of the ETF. And when they go down, it hurts the market. When they go up, it's good for the market. But historically, it looks like this has been the case for a long time, where there's always been a couple companies that make up around 20. And if those companies eventually go out, they go down, no longer popular, no longer useful, then a new company comes and takes their place. So eventually that could happen to some of the Magnificent 7. But that's it for today. So next week is going to be the last week of August. So we'll see the end of the month crunches and see how the last week goes.